A top official in the US is confident a Gaza ceasefire deal will be in place before Donald Trump takes office as president. Discussions have been ongoing between Qatari mediators and a senior Israeli delegation for several days in Doha. Details are now emerging, with Israeli media reporting that a prisoner exchange deal will be implemented in 3 stages. US President Joe Biden is due to make a foreign policy speech in around an hour's time, but his national security advisor says a deal is close.
President Biden sent Brett McGurk out to Qatar more than a week ago. He has been camped out in Doha, day in, day out, 24 hours a day, working to tighten up these details and try to get this done. We have also coordinated very closely with the incoming administration to present a united message to all the parties, which says it is in the American national security interest, regardless of party, regardless of outgoing or incoming administration, to get this deal done as fast as possible. And now we think those details are on the brink of being fully hammered out, and the parties are right on the cusp of being able to close this deal. Whether or not we go from where we are now to actually closing it, the hours and days ahead will tell. But I believe it is there for the taking, and we're going to do everything we can to push it to get it across the line.
Well, President Joe Biden spoke today with Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani of Qatar. In a statement, the White House said the 2 leaders discussed the negotiations in Doha for a ceasefire and hostage release deal based on the May 27, 2024 arrangements described by the president last year and endorsed unanimously by the UN Security Council. Both leaders emphasised the urgent need for a deal to be implemented to return the hostages to their families and bring immediate relief to the people of Gaza through a surge in humanitarian aid enabled by the ceasefire and called for in the deal. Well, both leaders agreed to remain in close coordination directly and through their teams at this critical point in the negotiations. Israeli media have leaked what they say are details of an imminent ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. They report the deal will be in 3 stages. In stage 1, Israel will release 50 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for each female soldier and 30 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for the civilians. The reports say Israel will completely withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor at the end of the first phase of the deal. The second stage will start 16 days into the ceasefire and will focus on a deal that includes all the captives and the release of the remaining young men and soldiers. The third stage of the deal will address long-term arrangements, including discussions on establishing an alternative government in Gaza and plans to rebuild it. Other details about the reported deal focus on security, with checks said to be carried out by an international body, and Israel allowing 1 million Palestinians back to the northern Gaza Strip. Well, for more on this, we're joined now by Alon Liel, who is the former Director General of the Foreign Ministry of Israel. He joins us from Tel Aviv. Now, thank you very much for being with us here on Al Jazeera, sir. First of all, I kind of want to get a sense of what is being said in Israel right now in regards to this, because there have been many positive noises coming, especially from the United States.
It looks here now as a done deal. The mood is almost euphoric, I would say. The feeling is that there is no choice this time. We have to go along with it, because the international pressure, to be more exact, the American pressure, has doubled. It's 2 presidents now working on it. It's Biden and Trump together putting the pressure on the sides, and it looks very effective on our right-wing government. So there is a big change here in the mood. The internal politics does not look as an obstacle yet, because Israelis, because of censorship also, know mostly what we are getting, not what we are giving up on. So it looks as if it's going to happen very soon.
That's the political side of things. But what about the reaction from the Israeli public, especially the families of the captives?
Look, they are working on it over 15 months now, and of course the pressure is going on all the time for all this 15 months. But the question is, what makes the change now? And it's not that the pressure grew from the Israeli public. I was Saturday in the demonstration in Tel Aviv. It was not bigger than previous demonstrations. And I even saw bigger demonstration than that. So the difference is this time from the American deadline. The fact that next week an American president comes and the outgoing one wants to have it on his record, and the incoming ones wants to have it on his record. So I think this made the difference, not the internal pressure that is going on all the time, constantly.
So it really is down to Donald Trump's administration coming in, as you say. I want to get a sense of how you think Netanyahu is going to try and manage this next stage, this next phase politically there, because for months and months he's obviously been adamant that there now is not the right time for a ceasefire deal. So how does he pivot away from that?
I think Netanyahu's explanation to the right-wing ministers who are going to vote against, they already announced, and to the public is that the American incoming president is the most friendly president to Israel we can ever get. And he already proved it in his first term. So if there'll be troubles, he will let us do what we need to do. So the worry always was that if we will announce, Israel will announce that it's the end of the war, there'll be no possibility to go on fighting later. But I think Netanyahu will convince the Israeli public with this friendly administration we'll be able to go on fighting if we feel that it's needed. I think this is the way he will market it. I'm not sure he will do it, but at least to get the majority, I guess this is what he will say.
I imagine Israel, like much of the rest of the world, will be watching very closely as to how this all plays out in the days and weeks ahead, and as many people hope a deal can finally be done. Thank you so much, Alon Liel, former Director General of the Foreign Ministry of Israel.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.